Good evening. It's Friday, and welcome to the Quite Trippy podcast. This is your cousin Sherry. I'm going to go over the Qposts today. We've had quite a few from 11 p.m. last night throughout today. So what I'm going to do, because they are rather long, is I will read them, and I'll just read them straight the way it's written, and then we'll go over each one afterwards, because it does require a little bit of decoding, if you will. Oh, but first, Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, and I know I'm addressing him with respect. I should just be like Vindman. Vindman was fired today. Escorted out of the White House, from what I hear, and his brother was fired as well. So that's a little something to make you happy today. So, let me start with Qpost from last night at 11:16 p.m. and it is number 3836. So yeah, I'm just going to read it. Think HRC Russia reset statement, with Russia in the kill brackets afterwards. Think Hussein, I'll have more flexibility after the election. Hot mic statement to Russian depot. Re-Q to Hussein, re-Putin. Think Hussein, WH refusal to send weapons to Ukraine. R Congress push to assist, but instead sent only blankets. Think D's attack re-POTUS for failure to protect Ukraine against Russian aggression. Impeachment. What advanced weapons did POTUS send to Ukraine? 2 + 2 = 6? Define projection. Think 1,800,000,000,000 Hussein WH to Ukraine. Which bank? Think U.S. aid to Ukraine. Think WW aid to Ukraine. Think U1, sale of U.S. uranium to Russia. Sold out U.S. to benefit Russia for personal financial gain. Risked U.S. national security for personal financial gain. How was payment made to U.S. persons? Think Ukraine. Think Iran. Russia and Iran allies? Russia, Iran, and China allies? U.S. poll corruption, China. U.S. poll corruption, Ukraine. U.S. leverage on behalf of ... or ellipsis. U.S. poll corruption, Russia. U.S. poll corruption, Iran. Common denominator, China, Russia, and Iran. Closed financial systems, logical thinking, Q. So, we go back up to the top there. So think HRC, that's Hillary Clinton, Russia reset. So she made her Russia reset statement. This was going to be her big contribution. She was going to completely reset the relationship with Russia. And she did by selling uranium to Putin. Think Hussein, I'll have more flexibility after the election, when he was caught on hot mic, making that statement to deliver to Putin, which, if you haven't seen it, it's quite a bit of, it's quite revealing to have that, to have something that obvious on video, and Trump's getting impeached on, this statement that he made that doesn't mean anything. Okay. Think Hussein, White House refusal to send weapons. Yeah, they wouldn't send weapons to Ukraine, and instead sent blankets as aid. I'm sure the Ukrainians needed blankets as much as we did in Sandy Hook when Obama spoke here, and again the American Red Cross was right there on hand to help us with blankets. So I guess that's the Red Cross's one move, and they're awful blankets too. They're like fiberglass. I don't know if you've ever felt fiberglass. It's itchy. Okay, so yes, they didn't actually give them weapons. We did. Our Trump administration did. He says, what advanced weapons did POTUS send to Ukraine? We sent them Javelin missiles. So, and we had the Dems attacking the president for the failure to protect the people of Ukraine when we're the ones that sent missiles and they sent blankets. So, 2 + 2 = 6, define projection. Yeah, they're projecting, once again, accusing us of what they're doing, which is right from the handbook. It is the Saul Alinsky tactic. Now, think of 1,800,000,000,000. That's a lot. I guess I'm surprised, and that's not a misprint, but I'm certain it says 1,800,000,000,000. So Hussein White House to Ukraine. Which bank? Laundering money. It's money laundering. I'm not exactly sure which bank that is. U.S. aid to Ukraine, worldwide aid to Ukraine, and the uranium one is the sale of uranium to Russia. So yes, we were selling. Hillary was just selling the United States to Russia. Didn't care what she was doing to the country. Obama didn't care what he was doing to the country. They just cared that they were enriching themselves, buying homes all over the world, because it doesn't matter what happens to us. Risked U.S. national security for personal financial gain? Yes, they did. How was the payment made to U.S. persons? Through Ukraine, through Iran, and through Russia, and China. And so we've got all this corruption going on from the U.S., from the politicians here in the U.S., most of them Dems, but some of them Republican as well. A lot of corruption that has to be taken out through China, Ukraine, Russia, Iran. I would go as far as to say North Korea, but the common denominator is that they have closed financial systems, and so they can hide their corruption. Logical thinking. That's my logical thinking, anyhow. If you know this to be anything else, let me know in the comments section. Let's go on to the next post. Okay. 3837, and that was at 11:40 last night. It says, bigger than you can imagine, more than selling of state secrets, more than selling of U.S. security, more than selling of military technology, more than selling of CIA assets, more than selling of NSA bulk data collection programs, more than selling of uranium, more than selling of U.S. space national security programs and positions, more than selling of U.S. aid, more than selling of special access programs, class 1 through 99, crimes against humanity. When you cannot destroy/defeat the United States of America by attacking head-on, you change tactics and deploy a kill from within internal operation. Financial/economy, military/police, division of citizenry, border collapse. Install like-minded leaders in key positions of U.S. government. How many people removed from the FBI had Iranian family backgrounds? The silent war continues. That's a pretty good Qpost, and doesn't really require a whole lot of explanation, except for, yeah, it's huge, and it's one of the reasons why it's so hard to explain to somebody why they think you're a conspiracy theorist, and everything can't possibly be linked up like that. You're surely wrong, but it's been a long time coming. They've been planning it for a long time. They've been infiltrating for a long time, and unless you take a look back at all of the history that you you can't possibly understand how it's become so all-encompassing. But it has. Alas, it has. Everywhere you look, everyone in a trusted position, whether it's the media or the high-ranking police officers, high-ranking anything, you probably got that way because you're corrupt. And if you were a legit person, you probably got fired already. It's very rare that someone like General Flynn remained high-ranking as long as he did. So, yeah, don't have to read that one over. Let's go on to the next one. 3838. Control over the media has kept people in the dark. Control over the media has kept people at heel, meaning behind. Control over the media has kept people focused on falsehoods. Control over the media has kept people in a constant state of fear. Control over the media has divided our republic into segments: race, religion, class, political affiliation, gender. And then it says weaponized in the kill brackets, meaning all of them have been weaponized. When a citizenry is divided, they have no collective power. When a citizenry has no collective power, they can no longer control the levers that govern them. Levers of control. Illusion of democracy. So, as they're saying, as Q is saying, as long as we're this divided, we don't have a democracy or republic. We've got the illusion of a democracy. Now, I don't see us as divided as we are. There are certain maybe religions like Islamic, radical Islam, that I see on the outside. But, yeah, maybe political affiliation, class. I don't see the genders that divided. Or the races. I could be wrong. Maybe it's just where I'm from. But it's true. Together, like, we've lost the feeling of togetherness and the knowledge that together, wow, like things like prayer is proven collectively to be effective on things. You know, imagine if we were all going in the right direction, understanding things like, I don't know, when you meditate, or understanding just the power of the human mind and how we can all think positively and get to places that we've never been. And you know, that kind of sounds stupid. Forget about that statement. But we do. We need to get back together with our fellow human beings and let some of this other stuff just fall away. You know, I mean, I can understand the classes being divided. You get a little upset because someone's like making $1 kajillion and you don't have enough money to make your rent payment. But I understand that. I'm just saying. Okay. So that's that. And the next one is 3839, and it is a link that says it's time to wake up. So let me just quickly click on that link and see what it is. It's a Benny Johnson post on Twitter, and it says you should probably watch this. A bill pending in Congress would devastate America. This is okay. Yeah. So this is more just like what they're doing in New York with the crime bill, where they've eliminated bail in a number of crimes, a pretty large number of crimes, where you've got people doing things that are violent, raping, you know, doing things in front of kids, sexual things with kids, a whole list of crimes, and they can no longer charge them bail. They made this somehow about not having money and nothing about the violence of the crime, nothing about the actual crime. And they're released right out directly onto the streets, and even better than that, they're the lawyers of the the lawyers of the criminals get the information. Like, let's say it's like a spousal abuse case, and the woman flees somewhere but has to file her lawsuit. That information is handed over to the guy that was beating her. It's so crazy. It's hard to even believe. And we're starting to see, I knew we would. It only took about a month before somebody got killed in New York, and as a direct result of these policies. So I can only hope that people will be loud enough, or that something will happen to change Governor Dickhead's mind. I'm in Connecticut. I'm really close to New York. My family's from New York, and it's hard to believe. It took a long time to clean up New York from the 70s, and it's becoming a shithole again. So let's see. Now, so that was that. But I do. You should go onto the link and check out the Tucker Carlson post. qmap.pub. Now, there is another video. Oh, new Joe M video. The best is yet to come. So, this Joe M, The Storm is Upon Us on Twitter, has a new video, and I haven't even watched it yet. Let me see what we got here. Let's watch it together.
America is a land of heroes, a place where greatness is born, where destinies are forged, and where legends come to life. This is the home of Thomas Edison and Teddy Roosevelt, of many great generals, including Washington, Pershing, Patton, and MacArthur.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to restart this.
America is a land of heroes, a place where greatness is born, where destinies are forged, and where legends come to life. This is the home of Thomas Edison and Teddy Roosevelt, of many great generals, including Washington, Pershing, Patton, and MacArthur. This is the home of Abraham Lincoln, Frederick Douglass, Amelia Earhart, Harriet Tubman, the Wright brothers, Neil Armstrong, and so many more. This is the country where children learn names like Wyatt Earp, Davy Crockett, and Annie Oakley. This is the place where the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth, and where Texas patriots made their last stand at the Alamo. The American nation was carved out of the vast frontier by the toughest, strongest, fiercest, and most determined men and women ever to walk on the face of the earth. Our ancestors braved the unknown, tamed the wilderness, settled the Wild West, lifted millions from poverty, disease, and hunger, vanquished tyranny and fascism, ushered the world to new heights of science and medicine, laid down the railroads, dug out the canals, raised up the skyscrapers. Our ancestors built the most exceptional republic ever to exist in all of human history, and we are making it greater than ever before. This is our glorious and magnificent inheritance. We are Americans. We are pioneers. We are the pathfinders. We settled the new world. We built the modern world, and we changed history forever by embracing the eternal truth that everyone is made equal by the hand of Almighty God. America is the place where anything can happen. America is the place where anyone can rise. And here, on this land, on this soil, on this continent, the most incredible dreams come true. This nation is our canvas, and this country is our masterpiece. We look at tomorrow and see unlimited frontiers, just waiting to be explored. Our brightest discoveries are not yet known. Our most thrilling stories are not yet told. Our grandest journeys are not yet made. The American age, the American epic, the American adventure has only just begun. Our spirit is still young. The sun is still rising. God's grace is still shining. And my fellow Americans, the best is yet to come.
I love Joe M. Another fantastic video. Okay, let's see. Next. Okay, the next is an old Qpost list of people that have been fired. So wait, this is Qpost 3841, and let's see. It says, "Shall we play a game? Where are they now?" Referencing Public Optics. Retired left refers to fired, forced. Retired. Oh, okay. So, Federal Bureau of Investigation, and it has investigation in quotes. James Comey, Director, fired. Andrew McCabe, Deputy Director, fired. Jim Rubicki, Chief of Staff and Senior Counselor, fired. James Baker, General Counsel, fired. Bill Priestap, Director of Counterintelligence, Stroke's boss, fired. Peter Stroke, Deputy Assistant Director of Counterintelligence, fired. Lisa Page, Office of General Counsel, fired. Mike Cortan, Assistant Director for Public Affairs, fired. Josh Campbell, Special Assistant to Comey, fired. Michael Steinbach, Head of National Security Division, fired. John Gianconi, predecessor to Steinbach, Head of National Security Division, fired. James Turgle, Assistant Director, fired. Greg Bauer, Top Congressional Liaison, fired. Trish Anderson, Principal Deputy General Counsel, fired. Okay. Now, there is a link to a Methods to Madness post. Let's just quickly check and see what that is. A Twitter post that says, "Listen carefully, and I highly suggest you watch the full episode." And there's a link to Glenn Beck's most recent Ukraine thing. Now, he does a fabulous job on Ukraine, kind of dissecting it. However, he does leave out or minimize the Crowdstrike thing, which was surprising. And it, of course, immediately we questioned, is he controlled opposition? Or does he not know? Does he believe that conspiracy theories are really a thing? Because I kind of thought he was on board and fighting against conspiracy theories, yet he used the phrase that Crowdstrike is just a conspiracy theory. And yes, we all know that Russia hacked the election. So that was surprising to me. So you should watch it, regardless. But Q does say, if dirty cops ran the investigation into the DNC breach, could an argument be made that it was corrupt? If dirty cops ran the investigation into election interference, could an argument be made that it was corrupt? If dirty cops ran the investigation into HRC private server email scandal, could an argument be made that it was corrupt? Russia did not penetrate the DNC server. it was an internal download release. Crowdstrike manipulation of source. Russia did not interfere with U.S. election of 2016. Crowdstrike manipulation of source. The truth will be made public. Q. So, that was refreshing to hear because, you see somebody like you trust somebody like Glenn Beck, and then you're like, oh man, and everything goes through your head like, now who do I trust? I thought I knew. So, at least Q is clarifying that this will indeed become public. And I hope Glenn Beck, backpedals. I'm not sure why he's doing it. I hope he's not controlled opposition. That would suck. Okay. Now, that was 3841 at 12:14 p.m. last night. And today, the only post now from the last post, which was 12:30 last night, says, why is China/Qatar donating vast sums of money